Hi everybody, this is Ellie. Thanks so much for joining me today for a video where I share my reading journal setup. I'm just going to flip to a blank spread for now so that we don't have this glare while I chat a little bit about why I chose to set up a reading journal. I have always loved reading. As a kid, that was my #1 hobby. My brother played 3 sports and I grew up watching him with a bag of books beside me. In high school and university, I read a lot less because I had so much assigned reading. And over the past years, I've gone through cycles. After I got my first smartphone and had so much distraction at my fingertips, reading definitely took a back seat. And I am at a point where I am trying to intentionally bring reading back and enjoy it as a practice. To that end, I decided it would be really helpful for me to be able to log what I'm reading. If I were to describe myself as a reader, I would say that I'm a mood reader. I have a lot of books on my shelves that have not been read, and I tend to choose the next one based on whatever I am in the mood for. I am also a chronic rereader or rewatcher of TV shows, movies, anything like that. I find a great deal of comfort in revisiting things that I've already consumed and loved, and I want to have a sort of index or log that makes it easier for me to do that. A lot of times with books, I will remember like 1 or 2 small details, maybe a setting or a scene or one name, and that's not usually enough for me to actually get back to the book itself. So that is where this comes in. I will also mention that I have tried to set up reading journals in the past and it has never quite worked out for me. And I think that the reason for that is because I need this to be as simple as possible. I love seeing people's reading journals where they have quotes and the book covers and reviews. I love it so much that that's always what I've tried to set up for myself. But I am just not that kind of reader, not right now at least. I basically need a space where I can write down titles, authors, and enough jot notes that it will jog my memory. And that's enough for me. Do I love looking at the other types of journals? Yes. If you follow Lilian's letters on Instagram, she has one of my favorite reading journals that I've ever seen. So there's a variety out there, but for me, I knew I needed something really, really simple. You'll see there's decoration in here, there's stamping, but this could just function with this one pen, and that is why I chose this notebook. So if you can't tell, which I'm sure all of you can, this is a Hobonichi Weeks Mega. I got this for 2022 and I haven't used it, so I decided it would be the perfect reading journal. What works really, really great about it for me is, first of all, that it's hardcover. I want to be able to write in this if I'm reading in bed, in a chair, wherever, and the hardcover gives me that surface. I also really, really love the size. Because I tend to jot my notes in point form, I do not need a wide A5 page, for example, because a lot of it would just be wasted. So this is wonderful. I also love the Tomoe River paper. That is a favorite. And I mean, the biggest pull for this was that I already had it and I wanted to use it in some way. So this is not a yearly reading journal setup. This is going to be long-term. If you're interested in a yearly setup, this would work, I think. If you wanted to set one up per year, I just know myself and I won't use it enough. I will still have a ton of notes pages at the end of 1 year, I imagine. And if not, then I will reevaluate and make adjustments. Let's get into the setup itself. Like I said, it is simple, but I shared some of it on Instagram and people were really interested in seeing it when it was finished. So here we are. The first thing I did was use a folder I had received from a Happy Daya subscription to put inside the clear cover. I ordered my first Happy Daya kit in the summer and it was the bookworm kit and I loved it so, so much. This was one of the folders that some of the stickers came in. So I just cut it to size. I will show you here because it bothers me, but I cut it a little bit short That's okay. I love how it looks and I absolutely love the colors. I actually think I might try and punch a hole here to have an elastic. I just need to figure out where to get those, what are they called? The metal brads, so I don't have to have a knot in here. But we will see. Because this inner paper is a thicker cardstock material, it's still taking some time to break in. I've tried to heat it with a hairdryer and I put it under some heavy books, which does make a difference, except every time I open it and lay it flat again, it kind of sticks up a bit again. But this is really small. It doesn't bother me. I'm just talking about it because I'm walking you guys through this. And then I was not sure about these pen colors. They weren't my favorite. This is the Hobonichi pen for 2023. But does this not just go perfectly with this paper? I was so happy to realize that because I knew I was going to use a tricolor Jetstream in here, and it was just meant to be, I think. Getting into the setup itself, I did use a lot of stickers from the Happy Day Bookworm kit, and it just makes me happy, guys. So I put this open book here, love it. I put this clear pocket on and then realized I probably don't actually need it for anything, but I had this lovely paper that my friend Maria at A Papery Life had sent me in Happy Mail, so I just cut it to size and put her in there. This here is my rating code. I will go through this more specifically when I'm talking about where I will actually do the ratings, but I figured I'd keep it in this front pocket where it was easy to access and I could actually take it right out if I wanted to. Another sticker from the Happy Day kit. I don't see myself using these sections for anything. And then we move into the monthlies. So what I decided I would use the monthlies for is to just log any upcoming releases. So if there's a book I want to read and it's not out yet, but the release date is already set, I will just flip to the month and say it comes out on May 8th. I'll just write 8 dash whatever the title is, or even just the author. And that way I will be able to have that information somewhere easy to access, and then I can just switch out the post-its every year. So these are my favorite minimal scripts from Planner Monkey Co. And I just cut a 3x3 post-it in half because I don't think I'll need a whole post-it for each month. And I just staggered how I put them so that it didn't get too bulky. This here is a little tab I made. So the sticker kit itself came with these little page flags. So here are the kits that I keep talking about. And then it also came with a number of other sticker sheets. So some of them have this kind of shimmer overlay. I'm not sure what the official name of that is, but it feels kind of smooth and shiny, not like the paper ones. But anyways, it came with these 5 flags, and I just used one of these post-it tabs, the clear ones, lined them up, trimmed it to size, and now I have these removable tabs. So I think they are so cute. So this is the first tab. It tabs the monthlies so that if I have any anticipated releases, I can just go ahead and log them in here. At the end, I've just put one large post-it note, and this is where I will log any releases that are in upcoming years. Then this next tab leads us to what would be where the weekly pages start. This is just a spread I've done in other reading journals, and it helps me reflect on the diversity of my reading. So it has the author, the main character, things to consider. I really like this framing of if it's a mirror or a window. So a mirror is a story that reflects your own culture and helps you build your identity. And a window is a resource that offers you a view into someone else's experience. And that's from a website called We Are Teachers. This is something I'm really cognizant of in the classroom as well. So I just like to keep this in here for myself. I have some washi tape from the Coffee Monsters Co. at the bottom. And I have just used a Posca Paint Pen here to color it in. It's a little bit streaky, but it is really opaque. So that's always an option if you are repurposing your weeks for something like I am and you don't want the dates. That said, this is the only page I did this in. because it would take a really long time for this next section. So right behind this, I have gone ahead and stamped the alphabet on each page. So I used my favorite stamps here from Amazon and the VersaMagic chalk ink, which doesn't bleed through onto Moe River paper, and kept it very, very simple. I just did this while I was watching baseball one day. And this section here is where I will write down any authors who are maybe auto buys, but if not auto buys, I at the very least know that I want to pay attention to whatever works they come out with. Obviously, this is a list that will be always evolving, but the plan is just to go ahead and write down the author's name. That's it. Nice and simple, and just kind of a little library or index of authors that I have really, really enjoyed. So I have talked about this book multiple times now, but I absolutely loved it. It was just a joy to read, and I am going to write the author's name here so that I can hopefully remember to keep an eye on any of her future books. I think the way that I'll do this is I'll probably start on the blank side of the page, and then if this gets full, I'll come over to this side. And like I said, maybe one day if I feel like it, I'll go through and color these with Posca paint markers, but it's definitely not a need, and honestly would be pretty time consuming. So I haven't really decided. I think I might use blue in here a little bit more just because it sticks out to me, and I will alphabetize using the author's last names. I'm trying to decide if in the end I might have 2 columns here. No, you know what? I'm going to start here at this line, and that's that. So that is here all the way through to Z. And then I have my next tab here, which is my TBR. I wondered if I wanted to do a list of kind of recommendations and books I want to read, but I realized that could all be one list. The plan here is just to write down, well, any books that I want to read. And if it was recommended from a website, from an author, from a friend, then I will just jot that down as well. So that is the last kind of pre-made spread I have. And then I have a number of the blank weeklies still, well, all the way to this tab. So I still have all of these weeklies. I figure if I want to come up with any lists, any favorite lists, any notes at all, that they will go in these pages here. And like I said, there's a good number of them, so I don't anticipate that I will run out. This is also a place where I can put quotes and things like that, but I have never been good at writing out quotes from books, because the thing is, if I start writing one quote, then I will be looking for them all the time, and it will really interrupt my reading process. So if there's something that really, really sticks out for me, maybe, but I can't remember the last time that I've done that. So anyways, it's an option, but I am not putting that as a spread in here because I know that is just likely not realistic for me and would probably actually be a little bit too much pressure. So my 4th tab and the last one in here takes us to the note sections. So I don't have anything here. What I do believe I'll put here is I will just index the years. So it is midway through October right now when I'm finishing and filming this. And I'm just starting here, 2022. I stamped it because I have my stamps out and I love how these stamps look. But again, everywhere I have used a stamp in here, you could just use one pen and it would serve the exact same purpose. So a stamp, and this was from Planner Monkey Co. And this is where I'm going to write my notes or reviews. When it comes to reviews, I have a really, really hard time. I am incredibly indecisive. I never want to give anything 5 stars because I'm thinking, what if there's something even better? And it's a mess. It's my own mental hurdle. It does not need to be this hard, but I have decided that I will come up with a star rating. If I want to use it, fine. If not, also fine. Sometimes when I get too in my head about star ratings, I will just indicate whether or not it is a rereadable option for me. So there's that. I did say that I would share my rating system, so I did go with a 5-star rating system. I figure if I ever want to track on Goodreads as well, it'll just be easier that way. Starting at the bottom, for one, not my cup of tea. I can't imagine I'll ever be in a place where I actually rate a book a 1, because if it's really not my cup of tea, I just won't finish it. But I did put it in here anyways. 2 is fine and finished. 3, liked it, entertaining, but low or no connection. I guess at this point I should also explain that for me, when I'm rating, it is very, very subjective. I am not someone who is really analytical, and maybe one day that is how I will review, but right now I'm just reviewing how it made me feel, how I liked it, and what my overall experience was with it. And of course, things like the writing style, the character and plot development, that all factors in, but overall, this is very, very subjective to me, and I'm fine with that because this is just for me. But anyways, so 3 is I liked it, entertaining, but low, no connection. And then I start getting into half stars to help myself hopefully have an easier time with the rating. 3.5 is a solid, satisfying read, relatable. 4, I really liked it, felt a good connection. 4.5, loved it, strong connection, resonated with me. And 5, no doubt it's 5 stars for me. Holy shirt. That's from The Good Place. So this is my rating system, and I'm sure I'll refer to it a lot because, like I said, I really get in my own head here. But I figured I would go ahead and write in my rating for The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. I might go back and fill in some of the other books that I've read this year, but I decided not to give myself the pressure of that because then I would just never start it. The next entry we'd see here would be 2023. But I do think I'll try and set up a format here. So I do like using the different colors on the pen. It just helps me if the titles stand out. So I am giving this book 5 stars. After all that explanation about my indecisiveness, this was just like a warm hug, and it hit all the right emotional notes for me. And it was also just such a lovely entryway back into this intentional reading that I'm hoping to do. That, yeah, it was just the right book at the right time and absolutely lovely. So that one's 5 stars. So I'm going to do the stars in blue, I think. And it's great because there's already this faint dividing line here, right? So let me draw my stars. There we go. Keep it simple. I do like to write the genre, so I just have an F for fiction. Nothing groundbreaking here, guys. I'm going to try and write the dates that I finished it, just because I think it's fun to have an idea of the time of year when I was reading it. And if it's part of a series, I'll write that here just so I'll know if I want to keep on with the series. Then, like I said, the title will be in red. The author I will write in blue again. I do like things to stand out. And then I will do point form notes in black. Honestly, I expect that when I'm flipping through this, I'm going to have a mess of colors because I forget to change them, but we'll see. I'll give it a try. I don't know if I like that dot there, but I knew I wanted to do dashes here, so okay. Anyways, in my own head again. So I won't do any spoilers here. I'll write a few things like I normally would, and then I'll fill the rest in off camera, but just things that help jog my memory. So I will write the main characters' names. This time I'll just start with 1 because it tells you on the back cover, so that's no surprise. I do have a few more notes that I want to write, but like I said, I'll do that off camera. But if nothing else, this would be enough for me. It has the main character. This is a major kind of setting in the story and one of the major themes or tropes. That'll be enough usually to jog my memory, but I do also want to write some of the things I felt when I read it. So something like lovely, warm, cozy. I mean, I already know a couple things I want to write, but again, I don't want to get anywhere into spoiler territory. So that is what this section will look like. And as you probably know, in the week's mega, you have 215 pages. So I think this will last me for a long, long time. And like I said, when I get to 2023, I will just stamp that or write it at the end of 2022 and we will carry on. And that is how I've set this up. The only other thing that I have is this little sticker book that I made for myself at the back. So I mentioned that there were 5 tabs, and I don't need to tab 5 sections right now, so I just put the third one here, but you can see how they ended up looking. And this I just made myself. So I used the Hobonichi Weeks memo books for the sizing, and I just printed out some papers. I bought a set of papers from BHL Designs on Etsy, and I have used almost all of them now. I love them so much. And that's also the paper I used to line the inside. I wasn't planning on lining the inside, but I used the packing tape over this to make it more durable, and it looked it looked really bad in here. This is just for me to keep some stickers in. So again, this is from the Happy Day kit. It says "Go away, I'm reading," which is super cute. And then I had a bunch of stickers. So I showed you these ones, but the kit also came with all these green ones are from Happy Day. And then plus I had other reading stickers. Oh, look, this is what really started. This is my plan for this. So very casual, very messy, but exactly enough to get me started. Anyways, like I said, I did not buy any new stickers to put in here. They were all ones that I had. And as you can tell, they are book themed stickers that I figure I can put in if I'm in the mood. And if not, I don't need to. But I know myself, and again, it will be much easier. Well, it will only really happen if it's all together. So I kind of just figured that if I was in the mood, it would probably be in this review section here. I could just fill in some little stickers in whatever spots, and it might not happen. It might be pen only, and that's fine too, but I really liked having this as an option, especially since I already have so many reading stickers. And I did put the tabs at the top because I didn't want them to get ruined bumping it into the pen loop here. I love that this cover has the pen loop. I'll just do one more really quick flip through. I'll put this back in here. So this will be for any upcoming releases in the current year. In years after the current year. Mirror versus window, things to consider in the books that I choose. And then we have our index here for authors that I would like to revisit. TBR list. And then the review section. Some little sticker embellishments at the back, and a totally self-contained little reading journal. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say is that I am going to keep some reading themed washies here as well. So Daksina had sent me these, whoops, from London Gifties, so I will keep these in the back probably. And then a friend on Instagram, I had asked if anyone had some of these Simply Gilded bookshelf washi tapes. So she was kind enough to send me these samples. So I will probably just resize them to fit in here a little bit on a thinner card and keep some of these bookshelf washies in here too, because they are so beautiful. And again, if not in here, then when would I use them? Maybe I'll put some at the bottom of these spreads. I don't know, but I have them and I will try to incorporate them in this setup. And if I don't, it is going to be just as functional either way. I hope you guys enjoyed this simple reading journal setup. If you also keep a reading journal and have spreads that you use and love, feel free to leave them in the comments so we can all get ideas from each other. I am really excited about this, and I really hope that the simplicity of it means that I will actually use it. I expect these review pages to be a little bit scribbly, and I'm looking forward to that. Kind of those first scribbles, the first time that I am not precious with this, I think will be the key to me actually using it. So this will be part of my intentional reading journey, I hope, and I'm really glad I got to share it with you guys. If you like this video, please feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.